Across the ancient world, from Roman Britain to Han Dynasty China, secrets lie sealed in stone. For nearly 2,000 years, caves and tombs have held their silence, promising lost treasures to anyone who dares to look inside. But sometimes what archaeologists find is worth far more than gold. They find people. This is the story of what happens when a cave of coffins is opened and the treasure isn't an object but an identity. It's the story of a rich and powerful family whose secrets, sorrows and love were meant to last an eternity, just waiting for us to find them. For 1,800 years, a handful of ancient tombs held a secret. When archaeologists finally broke the seal, they were hoping for treasure, but what they found was so much more valuable: the lost story of a powerful family. This isn't just about digging up the past, it's about meeting the people who lived it. This is the story of what was hiding in the cave of coffins. For an archaeologist, finding an undisturbed tomb is the dream. But it's a race against time, and more often than not a race that was lost centuries ago. So many ancient tombs were looted in antiquity, their precious contents stolen, and their stories shattered. When excavators in Rizhao, China, recently uncovered 3 1,800-year-old tombs, they found 2 of them had been completely cleaned out. It's a common and frankly heartbreaking reality. That's what makes a truly intact discovery so electrifying. Picture a team of archaeologists in Newcastle, England, working near the old Roman fort of Ponce Aelius. Out of nowhere, they uncovered not 1 but 2 massive stone sarcophagi. These aren't just simple graves, their sheer size and careful construction tell you this was the resting place of a very wealthy, very powerful family. Maybe a high-ranking official or a powerful merchant whose family name was meant to be remembered forever. Roman law actually required burials to happen outside city walls, usually along major roads. So a grand tomb wasn't just a grave. It was a billboard for a family's legacy, a public statement for everyone to see. These coffins lay silent, holding the answers to so many questions. Who were they? What were their names? And what story did they want to tell? As the team in Newcastle kept digging, they made a truly emotional discovery. One of those enormous sarcophagi, built with so much effort and expense, held the remains of a child. All that work for one small life tells you everything you need to know. This was a beloved child, from a family with the power and wealth to try and defy death itself. This wasn't just a burial, it was a monument to their social importance. And you see this same heartbreaking story stretched across the ancient world. In a Roman period burial cave discovered in Jerusalem, another child's story came out of the darkness. Inside a lead coffin were the remains of a young girl, and with her a treasure that tells a story not of wealth but of love and fear. She was buried with delicate gold jewelry, but these weren't just for decoration. The pieces were covered with symbols of Luna, the Roman moon goddess. For the Romans, Luna was a protector, a divine guardian who lit the way in the darkness and watched over children. This jewelry was a set of powerful amulets put there by a grieving family desperate to protect their daughter on her journey into the afterlife. The cycle of the moon represented life, death, and rebirth, so by trusting their child to Luna, they were praying she would be safe. The gold is valuable, sure, but the story it tells of a family's hope is priceless. While clues like amulets and enormous coffins can paint a picture of a family's status, they often leave one huge question unanswered: what was their name? For centuries, the names of the people in these coffins were lost. But a stunning discovery in Rizhao, on China's east coast, just changed that. There, Archaeologists found 3 tombs from the Han Dynasty, all around 1,800 years old. 2 had been looted, but the third, called M3, was almost perfectly intact, holding over 70 artifacts. But the greatest treasure wasn't the bronze mirrors or fancy lacquered cases. It was the tomb itself. It was built like a house with different rooms, tiny wooden doors, and even windows. This wasn't a grave, it was a home for the afterlife, designed so a family could stay together forever. And then they found it. As the team documented the tomb, they found inscriptions. 2 of the tombs had the surname Huan, a rare clue linking the burials to one family, but there was more. Inside the second tomb, M2, they found a small bronze seal, and on it was a name, Huanjia. After 1,800 years, a name was finally returned to its owner. The mystery was solved. This was the cemetery of the Huan family. The most intact tomb is thought to be the final resting place of a husband and wife, making this the story of a real, identifiable family who wanted to face eternity together. These discoveries are rewriting our understanding of the past, giving names and faces to people who've been silent for centuries. If you find these historical mysteries as compelling as we do, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our next investigation into the secrets hidden just beneath our feet. The Huan family's desire to stay together after death is a powerful feeling that we see again and again in the ancient world. In Israel, a truly remarkable discovery highlights this exact same human need for connection. 2 ornate stone sarcophagi, also about 1,800 years old, were unearthed at a wildlife park. And what made them so special is that they were a matching set. Archaeologists knew right away they were looking at his and hers coffins, almost certainly for a husband and wife. They were decorated identically with intricate carvings of garlands and symbolic discs. This wasn't just 2 people buried near each other, this was a unified statement. The identical decorations signaled their shared status in life and their intention to share a single journey into the afterlife. Those carved discs were thought to protect the soul on its voyage to the next world. The coffins were made of local stone but carved to look like the much more expensive marble sarcophagi from across the sea, which means this was a wealthy couple making a statement about their place in society. The story carved into these stones is one of partnership. It speaks to a bond so central to their lives that it had to be the final image they left behind. From the Huan family in China to this couple in Israel, the message is clear. Not even death could separate them. While these discoveries give us a very intimate look into the private lives of ancient families, it's important to remember that these burials were also very public events. In the Roman world, death was a social and political moment. Roman law said burials had to happen outside the city walls, which meant tombs and sarcophagi were often put right along busy roadsides for everyone to see. The incredible stone coffins found in Newcastle weren't hidden away, they were built to be seen. Their size and location were a way of communicating the family's power and legacy to the entire community. Funerals for the elite were often huge spectacles, with processions and public speeches that celebrated the deceased person's accomplishments and, by extension, the power of their entire family. It was a way of locking in the social hierarchy and ensuring a family's name would be remembered. The stories we're uncovering today were first told publicly, carved in stone as a message to the world 1,800 years ago. We started with a mystery, the promise of secrets hidden inside ancient coffins. You might expect to find gold, but what we found was so much more profound. We found people. We found a high-status family in Roman Britain whose grand coffins were a public declaration of their power. We found a young girl in Jerusalem whose parents gave her the protection of a goddess for her journey into the unknown. We met the Huan family in China, who built a house for the afterlife so they'd never be apart, and whose name we can now say out loud, Huanjia. And we saw the love of a husband and wife in Israel, forever united in matching coffins. The greatest treasures from these sites aren't made of metal or stone, they're the stories of identity, family, love and loss. These discoveries make the nearly 2,000 years that separate us just melt away, revealing the human threads that connect us all. They remind us that in every culture across time, people have wanted the same things: to protect their children, honor their families, and to be remembered. And it just makes you wonder, what other stories are still out there, sealed in stone, waiting to be told?